Hi, and welcome to Transaction TV. I'm your host, Anthony Atanasio, CEO of Hawk Strategies. And joining me today is Union County Commissioner and NJTPA Second Vice Chair, Michele Delisfort. Commissioner, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me today.
It's exciting to have you here. The TPA, as well as all the MPOs, but the TPA in particular, always takes a very active role in the transaction conference. And as you've seen here at our 50th anniversary,
Yes.
This is our biggest and best yet.
Yes, it is.
So we're excited to have you here and always grateful for the TPA's participation in our conference. So
Great.
Thank you so much for
Of
your
course.
leadership. And speaking of the conference, you just finished moderating a panel
Yes.
on making greater places even greater. Sounds like a
Right.
great topic for New Jersey. And as a former Union County kid,
Right.
Union County is a
Love
great
it.
place. So
Yes, it is.
tell us a little bit about your panel and what you covered in that panel.
Sure. Okay. Well, the panel, like you said, great places, featured NJTPA and the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, and also Kevin from Belmar, without a W, as he says.
Yes.
We really talked about the different resources and programs that the MPOs offer, and also, ways to get involved, obstacles, trials, tribulations, but most importantly, the resources, which municipalities really need and in most cases are not really aware of. So it was a great session. We talked about programs like their demonstration. They have a local demonstration where they go out into communities and really engage the public in a way that helps them understand what's to come. Most people are afraid of change, and so these demonstration programs really draws out. It's cultural, it's physical improvements, and it gives them a sense in advance to find out what the street curbs or it could be parklets or crosswalks would look like in advance before building them out.
That's exciting. And on behalf of the transportation community, we appreciate the education element of what you're doing, because you're right. A lot of times, while municipalities are the ultimate beneficiary of federal spending, a lot of times they're not aware of the programs that are available to them,
Right.
of the funding that is. And, sometimes they have great ideas that they don't realize there's programs that could meet the need, right?
Exactly.
So the education piece is so important. So we appreciate that. So let's talk a little bit about Union County in particular as well. Put both your hats on. And, Union County and Elizabeth have been working to get some safe street and roads for all grants.
Right.
And the point of that is to help fund a local safety action plan. Can you talk to us a little bit about the work you're doing in Union County?
Sure. So as you mentioned, Elizabeth and the county, they were successful in securing funding for Safe Streets and Roads for All. It's a mouthful. They call it SS4. And they weren't the only municipalities or county. We also have 3 other municipalities in Union County that was successful in securing federal funds under this program as well. And they are the Township of Union, City of Plainfield, and Westfield.
Oh, my hometown.
Right.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Congratulations.
And I lived in Plainfield once too. So
okay.
we're hitting 2 of my former haunts. I love that.
And it's a great opportunity. The county has been extremely helpful in helping the municipalities navigate. They hired a consultant. The consultant did essentially data analytics for the entire county, and that information was shared with the 3 municipalities that received the SS4 grants as well. Because as you know, and everybody else, when you're driving through a town, it doesn't just stop there, right?
Yeah.
You cross borders, and so it's important that the municipalities that were successful in receiving the grants understand what's going on in neighboring communities, and therefore when they come up with designs and strategies, it can also benefit those other corridors as well.
That's fantastic. And that actually is a great segue into asking you, because you talked about how the towns are truly connected within the county, right?
Yes.
But as the second vice chair of the NJTPA, right, our North Jersey Transportation Planning Region, right, the counties are connected.
That's
right?
right.
The state highways run through it. Same thing. A state highway runs through how many counties?
Right.
And you represent Union on the TPA. Tell us a little bit about your experience on TPA and how you see the MPO supporting its region.
Well, NJTPA it's a gem, right? I'll say this: they represent, they cover about 13 municipalities, of which you have residents and stakeholders and patrons, 7 million. And they deal with transportation investments over about $3 billion, billion with a B.
Oh, yeah.
And so needless to say, the impact that NJTPA makes on these municipalities are incredible. I also serve as the chair for the Planning and Economic Development Committee. I am a urban planner, licensed and certified planner as well.
And you
So
also happen to be the president of the NJAPA right
I
now, right?
am
So
correct.
that's incredible. Wear a lot of
So
hats,
I do,
Commissioner.
I
Yeah.
do. But what's beautiful about this is that it all comes together, right?
Mhm.
And so, I find myself, fortunate to be able to work with MPOs like NJTPA and really explain to all the resources to the municipalities that they serve, what's there, what they should pursue. And honestly, they have a phenomenal team there.
Well,
Extremely intelligent,
yes.
experienced, just a really good group of folks to come to work
Well,
with.
like I said here at Transaction, we're biased. We work Dave Barron and Melissa Hayes and Ted
Right,
Ritter and the whole
right.
crew. It's a phenomenally staffed organization,
Yeah,
and they're truly collaborative in everything they do, whether it's MPO to DOT or MPO to the transaction
right.
community. So we thank you for your leadership
Thank you.
on that board. And, it's a bipartisan board too.
Right.
The counties all send different representatives, and
That's
yet
right.
you work very cohesively
We do.
together as a
We do.
bipartisan
Yes.
organization. And then I think things are a little loud sometimes in today's day and age. So
Right.
it's
So
always
it's
nice to see,
refreshing, right?
yes,
Very
everyone
refreshing.
working for the common good. And that's one of the beautiful things about transportation, right? It
Absolutely.
truly is for everybody.
Yeah.
There aren't red and blue drivers,
Right.
right?
Correct. Right. And there's so many different options that a municipality can pursue. Whether, again, we talked about local demonstration, there's a complete street technical assistance
Mhm.
program. And then there's, the transportation alternative programs. So the MPO, especially NJTPA, essentially really helps, plan. Some municipalities, they don't
Mhm.
necessarily have the capacity to identify or articulate a vision.
Yep.
And so NJTPA can help with that. In addition to visioning, they can also help with just identifying the actual plan, some hands-on assistance, and then, of course, pursuing funding for implementation.
Yes.
So yeah, but to your point, there's not a red or a blue driver or a pedestrian.
Yeah.
We all need to come together and really make sure that New Jersey as a whole, but of course, the 13 municipalities that NJTPA serves are well taken care of.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, it sounds like you're doing great work there. We appreciate that. We appreciate your involvement in the transaction conference.
Of course.
And we look forward next year. Let's do a check-in,
Yeah,
see how
let's-
things went for the
Okay.
year, and we'll talk about all the great things happening in Union County and in the 13 counties within the MPO
Love
next
it.
year.
Love it.
So, Commissioner Delisfort, thank you so much for being with us
you for
here
having
today.
me.
We greatly appreciate it. We want to thank everyone at home for watching this episode of Transaction TV. Thanks so much.